Fast forward to where I'm at now. Oh, I'm in a court battle to keep this property. Well, first to recover the property from them and then to keep it, which I've already recovered the property. Now I got to keep it by getting back my inheritance and getting back what rightfully belongs to me. And the gods foresaw that. They saw that today I would need that information. I would need to know about real estate law. So way back then, they had me to change. They had the school to change my major to real estate law, so that when I got to this point now, I'd be able to fight in court and win. That I would have the knowledge that I needed to win in court and to keep this property. Cool, huh? I get a laugh from what's going on because they keep kicking the can down the road week after week after week, thinking I'm going to run out of money. Oh, he's going to run out of money soon. So we'll just keep kicking the can down the road. Instead of getting him into court and getting the shit out of the way and over with, we'll just keep kicking the can down the road week after week after week, hoping he'll run out of money. Well, there's a problem. The problem is that the gods will literally have the Biden administration send me a big fat check if you start doing that shit. If I was to really run out of money, the gods would just have the government send me a big fat check, just like they have been doing. The gods have done it before, many, many times. And that was before the stimulus check thing got started, by the way. So, I mean, so if, the gods will find a way to give me money. I will not run out of money. So if that is the goal, is to, hey, let's get him run out of money, and then when he's run out of money, then we'll just take the property by fiat. Well, that's not going to happen. Sorry, that's not going to happen. So why don't we just go on ahead and get into court and get this shit over with, huh? Shall we? But he'll run out of money soon. No, I will not, because the gods will have the government send me a big fat check if I do. So let's just get into court and get it over with, guys, shall we? Let's get that done. This idea that the gods I serve isn't gonna provide for me is ludicrous. It's ridiculous. Because they've already proven that they will. I mean, I'm sitting over there in that single way, starving to death. And here comes these two humongous guys, man. I mean, they're massive guys. And they crawl out of this full-sized F-150. We were told to give this to you. And they shoved this box, this styrofoam box in my face. And then I happened to look at the box, and it had HH on there, standing for Huddle House. I'm like, oh. And then they squeeze back into that white truck and they're gone, And so after I got my strength back, I went and asked the neighbors, hey man, was these two humongous dudes running around giving Huddle House dinners to everybody? Well, no, Bon, that's crazy. What are you talking about? I asked another neighbor, hey man, was somebody passing around Huddle House? No. Asked over here, hey man, was somebody passing around Huddle House? No. Neighbor after neighbor, no, that shit wasn't happening. So who were these men, and how did they know to get me a dinner just at the right time? I'll let you figure it out. And they said, we were told to give this to you. We were told. If you don't have goosebumps right now, there's something wrong with you. You need to check your pulse. All right? You do. You need to check your damn pulse. Because you should have goosebumps right about now. Because nobody around here acknowledged those two men passing around Huddle House dinners. I'm the only one that happened to. As far as I know. So now where did it come from? Where did they come from? And again, how did they know to give me? And buddy, you should have seen this Huddle House dinner. It had one of them round steaks in there that was that thick, and it was that big around, and it was so tender you could cut it with a knife, with a fork. and it had everything, man. It had mashed potatoes, corn, peas, hash browns. I mean, it had everything in there. Mashed potatoes had everything in there you could possibly think of. It's like somebody like, yeah, just throw everything in there. Just throw everything in there. And it was, it's crazy, man. It was just, and boy, was it good too, because I was starving to death, and it was real good. That's what my gods can do. So my gods are going to take care of me, right? They're going to take care of me. So I mean, if that's the ploy, if that's the tactic, oh well, we'll just wait and see if he runs out of money. I'm not going to run out of money. The gods are going to see that I'm protected, that I'm taken care of. They just are. So if that's the plan, hey, we'll just keep kicking the can down the road week after week until he runs out of money. That's a bad plan, because the gods will have me win the goddamn lottery if you're going to keep that shit up. I mean, they've already promised to let me win it anyway, the Powerball and the Mega Million. Is that what you want? You want me to win the Powerball and the Mega Million and totally own your ass? That wouldn't be a good idea for you. Better to just get into court and get it over with, huh? I can tell you right now, you keep that shit up, the gods will just let me win the Powerball or the Mega Million or something. That'll be the end of it. And then I can walk into any lawyer office and say the 3 magic words. Money is, or excuse me, 4 or 5 words. Money is no object. Money is no object. When you say those 4 magic words to a lawyer, they suddenly spring to life. It's amazing. It's like a complete transformation. It's like a complete transformation. They go from, I don't know if we can help you or not. And then you say those 4 magic words, money is no object. And then suddenly their countenance changes. A light bulb goes off over their head and they're like, oh, I'll be happy to help you, Mr. Von Helton. Right? Yeah. I'll be happy to help you, Mr. Von Helton. When you say those 4 magic words, money is no object. It's what an amazing transformation takes place. Yeah, it's amazing how that works. So, if the plan is, oh, well, we're just going to keep kicking the can down the road week after week after week after week, yeah, that's not a good plan. That's not a good plan. It's not. Trust me. It's not a good plan. Let's get into court and get this shit over with. I was very fortunate, despite my mom and dad having money and being extremely well off. They never allowed me to become one of these snobbish rich kids. We went out into the country and we had a farm, and we worked the farm, and took care of dogs and cattle and horses, and just I never ended up being exposed to that kind of lifestyle. Well, I'm going to be a snobby rich kid and the rest of you can all go to hell. Thank God that my parents did not put me under that. And that's good. That's really good. And therefore, it makes for me to be a much better person when I do get my inheritance back and when I do win the lottery. Because my biggest concern, you want to know what my biggest concern is? My biggest concern is being influenced by all that money. That's my biggest concern. But thankfully, with my upbringing from my parents, Mom, when I was a little boy, I had no idea how rich my parents were. Didn't have a clue. Didn't have a clue that they were multimillionaires because they never put on like it, ever. They never once put on the airs of being an uber rich elitist. Not one time, even though they were worth several $1 million. They never once acted that way. And that is wonderful. That is a wonderful thing. So I'm hopeful, in fact, gleeful, that, when I do win the lottery, it's not going to affect me like it would somebody else. Because I came out of money. but I didn't come out of money as a snob. I came out of money as somebody who's reasonable. And that's the difference. And that's a wonderful thing. That is an awesome thing. And it's also why the Frosts and the trolls and their demons that serve them, that service them, or that lord over them, whatever the case may be, they don't want me to prosper. That's the thing. They're scared to death of me prospering. What? Even now, as we speak, I may have won the lottery. Wouldn't that be awesome? I go and I open up my email, and there's a Kentucky Lottery email in my junk folder, and I read that email, and it says, "You won, motherfucker." You know, because that happened. That actually happened. There was a guy. Something told him to check his junk folder, and he checked his junk folder, and there was an email in there from Kentucky Lottery saying he won. If he hadn't have checked his junk folder, he would have never known he had won the money. That's an actual true story. Isn't that amazing? So you never know. I may open up my email service this morning, and there'll be a letter from Kentucky Lottery in my junk folder saying that I won. You never know. And that's the beauty of it, because y'all never know what's going on. I may have already won and just not said anything. Oh, yeah, what about that, huh? I mean, do I have to make my entire life public knowledge? No, I do not, do I? And like I said, the gods have already said I'm going to win both of them, Powerball and the Mega Million. And I'm going to use their own service to do it. That quick pick shit. The trolls would absolutely lose their shit. For two reasons. Number one, that I won, and number two, that they know their goose is cooked. I win that kind of money. Yeah, you're all going to jail. You're going to jail, motherfuckers. But don't feel bad, because I'll be going after YouTube and Google too. You know, don't worry. We'll get this shit done. It's all going to get done. It's all going to happen. And it's going to happen like I told you. I've told you guys well in advance exactly what's going to happen. And thus far, everything I've told you has come to pass. Now, for those of you that have a thinking brain, that should send a message, right? That should send a clear message. Hey, this guy has been 100% right about every fucking thing he said thus far. So why then all of a sudden would you think I'm not right about the rest of it? Oh, because I am. Because I am. You know, it's just like you know, I'm at Southern Ohio College for 4 years. And after 2 years, I get called into the office. I'm like, oh shit, did I do something wrong? I thought I was in trouble. You don't get called to the office. I get called to the office. And they look at me stone faced and said, we're changing your major. Because my major was business administration, right? So we're changing your major. We're going to give you a certificate for business administration. And, you know, we can't give you a degree because we're changing your major. But we're going to give you a certificate for business administration, 2 years business administration. And then we're going to put you in real estate law for 2 years. And I'm like, why? What the hell? You know, and they had their reasons at the time for why they did that. And I'm like, okay, you know, I didn't really have much of a choice now, did I? You know, but they're like, yeah, we're changing your major. Now, fast forward to where I'm at now. Oh, I'm in a court battle to keep this property. Well, first to recover the property from them and then to keep it, which I've already recovered the property. Now I got to keep it by getting back my inheritance and getting back what rightfully belongs to me. And the gods foresaw that. They saw that today I would need that information. I would need to know about real estate law. So way back then, they had me to change. They had the school to change my major to real estate law, so that when I got to this point now, I'd be able to fight in court and win. That I would have the knowledge that I needed to win in court and to keep this property. Cool, huh? You know, it's like at time, you know, that they say, well, Vaughn, your mom took you to an old Pentecostal church, put you on the altar, and said, God, let him live if you want him to live. And immediately, My skin turned pink again. I started breathing again. I started crying again. This was witnessed by over 500 people in a small Pentecostal church. I don't know if it's documented anywhere, but it was witnessed. And that was the Christian God that did that. No, it was not. No, it was not. The Christian God wanted me dead. But the gods of creation had other plans. Thank the gods. That's the truth. That's a hard pill to swallow, isn't it, Christian? That the Christian God wanted me dead? That's a hard pill to swallow, isn't it? Well, I'm sorry, but it's true. And the Christian God did succeed in killing my 2 sons from my first wife. He did succeed in doing that. I got a visitation. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I got a visitation from 2 Luciferians. They showed up at my door in full regalia too, buddy. Showed up at my door. It's like, we want a word with you. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And they said, we have a message from who we believe in, Lucifer, whatever. We did not kill your sons. And I'm like, okay, come on in. Because that got my attention then. You know, when they said we didn't kill your sons, that got my attention. So I brought him in. I said, all right, well, you prove to me that you know what the hell you're talking about. And then we can proceed. And so they went boom, 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 boom down the line, telling me things that was not public knowledge. And I'm like, okay, now you've got my interest, because none of that shit you just told me was public knowledge. It was all private. And so now you've got my interest. So tell me what you come to say. And they said, listen, we did not kill your boys. That was Jehovah that killed your boys, the Christian God. And I'm like, yeah, I know who Jehovah is. I said, yeah, it was Jehovah. It was a Christian God. It was not our deity that killed your boys. And they were terrified of me. It's like, who the fuck am I, you know?